Today, I want to talk to you about a powerful force that can shape your future more than talent, luck, or even intelligence. That force is discipline. Discipline isn't just about waking up early or saying no to distractions. It's about making a commitment to yourself and keeping it, no matter how hard it gets. It's the quiet voice that tells you to keep going when everything else says stop. It's the difference between wishing and achieving. When you discipline yourself, you take control of your life. You stop being a slave to moods, temptations, or other people's opinions. You start building habits that create success instead of waiting for motivation to magically appear. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. It's not always easy, and it's certainly not always fun, but it is always worth it. So I challenge you, if you want to become stronger, smarter, more successful, discipline yourself. It starts with one decision, one habit, one moment of choosing what's right over what's easy. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. At the heart of discipline lies a powerful truth. You won't always feel like doing the right thing, but you have to do it anyway. That's what separates those who succeed from those who simply wish they could. Discipline means choosing action over excuses. It means showing up consistently, regardless of your mood, energy level, or external circumstances. Too often, people wait for motivation to strike. They say, "I'll start when I feel ready," or "I'll work on it when I'm in the mood." But the reality is that motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. If you depend on feelings to guide your actions, you'll never be consistent. Discipline, on the other hand, is reliable. It doesn't care if you're tired, bored, or discouraged. It simply says, "This is what needs to be done, so I'm doing it." Think of an athlete training early in the morning, even when it's cold and their body is sore, or a student staying up late to study for an exam, even when they'd rather be watching TV, or an entrepreneur working on a project, even when no one is watching and results aren't guaranteed. These people aren't superhuman. They simply understand that feelings don't dictate action. Commitment does. Discipline builds inner strength because each time you act despite discomfort, you grow more resilient. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. And as you get stronger, the gap between who you are and who you want to be begins to close. In life, there will always be distractions, temptations, and reasons to quit. But if you can train yourself to push through those moments, to act with intention rather than emotion, you unlock a level of personal power that few ever reach. That's the essence of discipline, not just doing what's easy, but doing what's necessary, especially when it's hard. 2. Small habits lead to big results. When people think about success, they often imagine huge, dramatic breakthroughs, a big win, a lucky break, or a sudden transformation. But the truth is, real success is not built in a day, it is built daily. It's not the big moments, but the small, repeated actions that shape your future. Discipline is most powerful when applied to the small, seemingly insignificant habits we perform every day. Why? Because those small actions, repeated consistently over time, compound into massive results. Just like a drop of water can eventually wear down a rock, small habits done daily can reshape your entire life. For example, reading 10 pages a day might not seem like much, but over a year, that's over 600 pages, equivalent to reading 12-15 books. Doing 20 push-ups a day might feel minor, but it builds strength and commitment. Saving just a small amount of money every week can lead to financial security over time. These are not one-time efforts, they are investments in your future. What's powerful about small habits is that they're manageable. They don't require dramatic willpower or sweeping changes overnight. You don't need to completely overhaul your life in one go. You just need to start with one habit, one promise to yourself that you keep. That might be waking up 30 minutes earlier, writing in a journal, avoiding junk food, or turning off your phone while you study. Simple, but intentional. As you stick to these small disciplines, something starts to change, not just in your results, but in your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who follows through. You start to believe in your own consistency, and that belief drives you to take on even greater habits. Momentum builds, confidence grows, and slowly but surely, those small steps begin to transform your entire life. Remember, success isn't one giant leap. It's a series of small steps taken consistently with purpose and patience. The little things matter, and in the end, they matter more than we realize. 3. Self-control builds self-respect. One of the most powerful and often overlooked benefits of discipline is that it strengthens your self-respect. Every time you practice self-control, every time you choose what's right over what's easy, you're not just resisting a temptation, you're sending a message to yourself: I am in control, I can be trusted, I am capable. That message, repeated through disciplined action, builds deep inner confidence. Self-respect isn't something we can fake. It's earned through the choices we make when no one is watching. When you stay committed to your goals, even in silence, even when it's hard, you begin to see yourself differently. You begin to realize that you don't need external validation to feel worthy. You don't need someone else to tell you you're doing well. You know it because you've proven it to yourself. Let's be honest, we've all experienced moments when we've broken promises to ourselves. We say we'll wake up early, exercise, eat better, study harder. But when we don't follow through, it creates a quiet sense of guilt and disappointment. Over time, that can damage the way we see ourselves. We begin to question our willpower, our reliability, and even our potential. But the opposite is also true. When you start honoring your commitments, when you practice discipline and self-control, even in small things, your confidence grows stronger. Self-respect is like a foundation. Without it, even success feels hollow. You might achieve something outwardly, but if you've taken shortcuts or betrayed your values, deep down, you'll feel that disconnection. But when your success is built on a foundation of discipline, on the daily practice of self-control, you walk taller. You feel proud not just of what you've done, but who you've become. Self-control also helps you maintain focus in a world full of distractions. Whether it's resisting the urge to check your phone, skip your responsibilities, or give in to negative emotions, every act of restraint strengthens your mind. Over time, you're no longer tossed around by every impulse. You become grounded, steady, and focused, and that's when your true potential starts to emerge. Discipline and self-control are not about restricting your freedom. In fact, they create freedom. The freedom to pursue your goals without being ruled by emotion, temptation, or external pressure. And as you grow in discipline, your respect for yourself deepens, forming the backbone of lasting confidence and character. 4. Avoid short-term pleasures for long-term gains. One of the greatest challenges in life is learning to say no to what feels good now in order to say yes to something better later. This is the essence of discipline, the ability to delay gratification, to resist short-term pleasures so you can achieve long-term goals. It's about making decisions not based on comfort or convenience, but on purpose and vision. We live in a world that thrives on instant rewards. With just a tap on a screen, you can be entertained, connected, or even validated. The temptation to take the easy road is everywhere. Binge watching instead of studying, scrolling instead of sleeping, eating junk food instead of preparing a healthy meal. These small decisions may seem harmless in the moment, but over time, they stack up and pull you further away from your goals. Long-term success, whether it's in school, your career, your health, or your personal growth, requires consistent effort and focus. That means choosing to sacrifice the quick pleasure for the deeper, more meaningful win. It means trading laziness for learning, distraction for discipline, and impulsiveness for intention. This isn't always fun, and it's certainly not always popular, but it's powerful. Consider a student who wants to graduate with top honors. They'll have to study when others are relaxing. They'll need to manage their time, stay organized, and resist the urge to procrastinate. Or think about someone training for a marathon. They'll skip late nights, junk food, and weekend laziness in favor of running, rest, and proper nutrition. The pleasure they miss out on now is nothing compared to the pride and fulfillment they'll feel when they cross that finish line. What's important to understand is that every time you delay gratification, you're training your brain to value discipline. You're learning to live with intention instead of impulse, and each time you do that, you gain more control over your life. You become someone who doesn't chase temporary highs, but instead pursues lasting value. Short-term pleasure fades quickly. That video, that snack, that nap, it all disappears within minutes or hours. But the long-term rewards of discipline, knowledge, health, strength, financial stability, confidence, those stay with you. They grow, they multiply, and they open doors to even greater opportunities. In the end, it's a matter of choice. Do you want to feel good now or feel proud forever? Discipline teaches you to think beyond the moment and act in a way your future self will thank you for. 5. Create routines and stick to them. One of the most effective ways to build discipline in your life is by creating routines, and more importantly, sticking to them. Routines are powerful because they take the decision-making out of your hands and replace it with structure. They allow you to turn important actions into automatic behaviors, reducing mental resistance and creating momentum. Think about how much time we waste each day deciding what to do next. Should I get up now or sleep a little longer? Should I study today or leave it for tomorrow? Should I go to the gym or skip it? Each decision drains mental energy and opens the door to excuses. But when you have a routine, you don't have to decide, you just do. It becomes part of your rhythm, like brushing your teeth or tying your shoes. Discipline thrives in environments that are organized and intentional. When you build a daily or weekly routine, you're designing your environment for success. You're creating a life where the things that matter most, your goals, your health, your growth, don't get pushed aside or forgotten. They are built into your schedule. They become a non-negotiable part of your day. For example, waking up at the same time every morning creates a sense of order. Starting your day with a morning routine, perhaps reading, journaling, exercising, or setting your intentions, helps you take control before the world starts making demands. A study routine in the evening helps you stay on top of your learning instead of scrambling at the last minute, and consistent sleep and meal times help your body and mind function at their best. But it's not just about being productive. Routines give your life clarity and stability. In chaotic times, a well-established routine can provide a sense of calm. When everything else feels uncertain, your routine becomes your anchor. It reminds you of your priorities, your discipline, and your purpose. That said, sticking to a routine requires commitment. There will be days when you don't feel like following it, when you're tired, overwhelmed, or tempted to make exceptions, but that's where discipline comes in. The point of a routine is not that it's always easy, but that it's always yours. It's a structure you've built to support your goals and values. The more you follow it, the stronger your habits become, and the more disciplined you become in all areas of life. And remember, routines don't have to be rigid or boring. They can evolve as you grow. What matters is that they are intentional and aligned with who you want to become. When you stick to routines that reflect your highest goals, you don't just manage your time better, you shape your future.